Item. SCP-404. Object Class. Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-404 is to be kept in Section Alpha-1 of the Documents Repository. Any movement of SCP-404 beyond Section Alpha-1 will result in termination. Description: SCP-404 is a pair of large manila envelopes, one of which has a series of pages attached to the front. Each page is stamped with a name, date, time, number table and contains multiple entries with known and unknown names. The ink has been dated to 1833, plus or minus 10 years, and the folder dated to 1834, plus or minus 10 years. Many signatures are noted on the grid, notably those of former document repository administrators. Dated, and dated. All signatures also are followed by a numerical reference number. Currently there are over 1,000 signatures on these pages, with additional pages appearing on their own when the previous ones become full. A count of these pages has proven impossible, as has the contents of the envelope as mentioned later. Contained inside SCP-404 are a series of large 8x10 photographs. Attempts to count the exact number of photographs have thus far failed. When a person attempts to count the total photographs, they will invariably get a number wrong at least twice and have to start over. If more than one person attempts to count them, they will begin to debate what number they were at last and start over. If a mechanized system is used to count the photographs, it will either glitch, fail, freeze, or skip, causing a recount to be required. Any person may pick up and access the first envelope, known as SCP-404-A. They may withdraw a single photograph at a time from the envelope. This photo will always be blank when drawn out and will remain so until 5 seconds have passed. Should the photo remain in contact with the person who drew it longer than 5 seconds, it will then begin to fade into an image in the same way a Polaroid develops. This image will be a crystal clear image from an event in the holder's past, which thus far has always been immediately recognized by the holder. Once this photograph has been developed, it will no longer fit into SCP-404-A no matter what effort is applied to it. This image will fit perfectly into the second envelope, SCP-404-B. An undeveloped photo will not fit into SCP-404-B. After a developed photo is placed inside of SCP-404-B, the pages attached to the front of the envelope will update themselves with the name, date, time, and an incrementing number. If a person picks up SCP-404-B, they immediately know which pages contain lines with their name, although they may not know the numbers. When they have viewed the numbers, or if they already know the number, they are able to draw that photo out of SCP-404-B with only a few seconds of searching. The most disconcerting feature of SCP-404-B is that once the subject has left the presence of the envelopes for longer than an hour, they forget interacting with either envelope as well as the memory imprinted on the photo. This effect lasts until the subjects re-enter the presence of SCP-404-A or B, at which time they regain their memory of having used the envelopes, but will not remember the event on the photograph until it is viewed again. Researchers who oversee the testing of SCP-404-A or B but who do not interact with the contents of the envelope are capable of remembering both the test and the image to the best their natural memory allows.